They were legends of the Ice Age, giant wolves that once roamed the Americas, fierce and powerful, feared by everything that crossed their path. The dire wolf, made famous by shows like Game of Thrones, had long since vanished from our world, believed to have died out over 10,000 years ago. But in the past few days, something extraordinary has happened, something that blurs the line between science fiction and reality. 3 wolf pups have been born. At first glance, they might seem like ordinary wolves, sharp-eyed, alert, growing fast under careful human supervision. But a closer look reveals the truth. These aren't just wolves. They're something new, and something ancient. Their names are Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, and they carry within their DNA the ghost of a long-dead predator, the dire wolf. The company behind this jaw-dropping development is Colossal Biosciences, a biotech firm that has made headlines before with their ambitions to revive extinct species. Using gene editing technology, they've pulled off what was once thought to be impossible: the resurrection, at least in part, of a creature that has been extinct for thousands of years. The process began with a puzzle buried in time: fragments of dire wolf DNA recovered from fossils, including a tooth dated to 13,000 years ago and a skull estimated to be over 70,000 years old. Ancient DNA is notoriously fragile, but Colossal scientists managed to extract enough genetic material to compare it to that of modern gray wolves. What they found was surprising. Despite the popular belief that dire wolves were simply oversized versions of today's wolves, they're actually quite different genetically. So different, in fact, that they're not even considered part of the same genus. Still, the team pressed forward. They identified around 20 genetic traits spread across 14 genes that gave dire wolves their distinct features: massive skulls, powerful jaws, thick fur adapted to ancient climates, and a robust muscular build. Using CRISPR gene editing technology, they introduced these traits into gray wolf embryos. But editing the DNA was only part of the challenge. Once the embryos were modified, they were implanted into domestic dogs who would serve as surrogates. Weeks passed, and the world waited, quietly, cautiously. Then it happened. Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi were born. 3 tiny pups, full of life, completely unaware that their very existence was rewriting history. These pups are not clones. They are not exact replicas of dire wolves. They are genetically modified organisms, gray wolves that have been engineered to express specific dire wolf traits. Their DNA is a mosaic of old and new, wild and domesticated, past and future. And yet, when they growl or play or stretch in the sun, there's something unmistakably ancient about them. For now, they live in a protected nature preserve. Scientists are watching them closely, monitoring their growth, their behavior, their interactions. How do they compare to modern wolves? Do they behave differently? Do they respond to their environment like creatures of a forgotten era? These are questions that can only be answered with time. The implications are staggering. If we can bring back traits of extinct species, creatures that have been gone for millennia, what else might be possible? Could the woolly mammoth walk the Siberian tundra again? Could the dodo once more roam the islands of Mauritius? Not everyone is celebrating. Critics argue that this isn't true de-extinction, but rather the creation of entirely new hybrid species. Ethicists question whether we should be playing with life in this way, while conservationists worry about the potential consequences if such animals were ever released into the wild. What place does a man-made dire wolf have in today's ecosystems? Still, the birth of Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi marks a turning point. It's a story that begins in the Ice Age, runs through the fossil beds of La Brea, winds its way through state-of-the-art laboratories, and ends in a quiet enclosure where 3 pups explore a world they were never meant to see. They are not ghosts, they are not myths, they are real, and they are here.